Hello everybody, welcome to Short Snippets. In continuation with the Art, Culture and Architecture series, this is the second lecture. We'll continue with Maurya Age. Previously I covered Indus Valley Civilization, now with the Mauryan Age. What we'll discuss? What is Sharma tradition, Mauryan sculptures, Mauryan pillars, pottery, architecture, post-Mauryan caves, stupa and sculptures. First of all, we need to know about Sharman tradition. Sharman's tradition is Sharma is a Sanskrit word which means one who strives for enlightenment in the near end of the Vedic age. So in this Sharma tradition, basically the priestly class were more dominant and the very complex Vedic rituals were there, and the discrimination with the backwards women caste systems were very common in the age of Sharmana practices. So this system led to the rise in Buddhism, Jainism and Ajivikas. Mauryas happened to be the first ruling class of India who patronized all three branches of Sharmana. So Mauryan caves, believed to be the first man-made caves of the Indian subcontinent with reticular panel and elephant sculpture. So these caves were mainly created by Ashoka and his grandson Dashrath. So Dholi cave, Lomasa Rishi cave, Sudama cave, these caves were the early caves which were formed with reticular panels. There was elephants were drawn on the caves, and these caves were meant for the shelter for Ajivika monks. Now further, these Mauryan sculptures. At this point of time, the sculptures of Yaksh and Yakshini, that is folk god and goddesses, were created. Their worship was prevalent in all the religion of that time in Buddhism, Hinduism and Jainism. So in Buddhism, Yaksh and Yakshini considered as a revered figure. One of the very popular image of Yakshini was Salbhanjika. There was a great Tamil epic, Silapatikaram by Ilango Adigal, also mentioned the worship of Yaksh and Yakshini. Yaksh of Parakram and Didargram of Yakshini is famous in Buddhism. In Jainism, there was a concept of 24 Yakshini who were highly revered and worshipped. Worship of Yaksh and Yakshini is also mentioned in Mahabharata. Yaksh, god of wilderness, and Yakshini is goddess of fertility in Jainism were considered. Now, Mauryan pillars. Mauryan pillars are monolithic in nature. Average height was 40 feet. So, with the Mauryan pillars, there was Achaemenian pillars of Iran were also there. They were stunted in nature as compared to Mauryan pillars. Mauryan pillars were highly polished and they were monolithic in nature. As compared to monolithic Mauryan pillars, Achaemenian pillars were inferior in nature. So these are some of the famous pillars in the age of Maurya. Laurya Nandangad crowning animal was lion. Rampurva pillar crowning animal is bull. It is established in the Rashtrapati Bhavan gates also. Sarnath pillar and Sankisa pillar. Sarnath pillar is made with we have adopted this as a Ashok Stamp, is a 4 continuous lion over there. And also in Sankisa pillar there was an elephant at the top. Mauryan pottery. It was climax of the pottery making. At this time, filter soil or clay was used, and coarse grain of clay was removed as such pottery was created in a very high speed of running wheel. And pottery were evenly thick and highly polished. Very, very polished and evenly made pottery was used by the Mauryan Empire and Mauryan time. In further, the post-Mauryan architecture. Post-Mauryan architecture consists of caves, stupa, and the architecture followed by the different art. First is post-Mauryan caves. These caves are formed on the basis of structure. First is apsidal vault caves with pillars. All the caves of Ajanta caves, Bhaja caves, Karla caves, Kahneri caves, all were situated in Maharashtra, were the apsidal vault caves with pillars. Without pillars, Thana Nadsur cave, Pithal Khoda caves, both in Maharashtra. Quadrangular hall fault roof caves were also there. That is the example was there, Mahakali and Condivite caves. Caves on the basis of purpose. The basic purpose of the was for the chaityas and viharas were there. Chaityas is a prayer hall for the monks, and vihara are the resting place for monks. So there are basically 4 chaityas only, and viharas were 24 in number. Moving further, the post-Mauryan stupa. See, at this point of time, wooden Vedic replaced with the stone Vedika, and the sculpture of Manusi Buddha, like a human being, was achieved as Nirvan and was installed in the premise of the stupa. It is also the indicative of beginning of idol worship in Buddhism. At this level of Medi, one additional Pradakshina Path was added also. Upper Pradakshina Path represented as Mahayana Buddhism, lower Pradakshina Path indicated as Himyan Buddhism. The number of Kshatris, started to increase in odd numbers, and odd was considered very auspicious, and increased number of Kshatris indicated the growth of Buddhism, and further other great features of Buddhism revived. An example is Amravati Bharut Stupa in Madhya Pradesh and Amravati in Andhra Pradesh. Moving further, the post-Mauryan sculpture. Post-Mauryan sculpture were basically divided into 3: Gandhar, Mathura and Amravati. Area of Gandhar was northwestern frontier province. Area of Mathura was Mathura, Sank and Kankali Tila. Area of Amravati was lower Krishna Godavari Valley. And area of material used in the Gandhar sculpture was grey sandstone, in Mathura red sandstone, in Amravati white marble. Influence in Gandhar sculpture is Greco-Roman, Central Asian and Hellenistic influence was there in the Gandhar sculptures. No outside influence in Mathura, they were completely indigenous, and Amravati was also totally indigenous in nature. Religion followed in Gandhar was only Buddhism, Mathura was Buddhism, Jainism and Hinduism, and in Amravati only Buddhism were followed. Patternization, Gandhar, Kushans were there, Mathura also Kushan was there, in Amravati, Satavahanas and Ikshvakus were there. Basic features of post-modern sculpture of Gandhar were that there was a spiritual Buddha. Spiritual Buddha what does it mean? It had a wavy hair, half open eye, unshaven eye, less ornament were used, optimum clothes, muscles and veins were visible. And delighted Buddha in Mathura were there, fully combed eyes were completely open, shaved face, more ornament, luxurious clothes and round body were there. And in Amravati, instead of creating a single dominant picture in Amravati, panel sculptures were preferred. The major features of panel sculptures was depiction in many characters. Specific features were there. The Greco-Roman influence were there. Grace of Gandhar image was inspired from the Greek god Apollo Zeus in Gandhar sculpture. And in Jain sculpture in Mathura, sculpture of 24 Tirankar were created, and Shwetambar Jain depicted mostly in seated position, and with a cloth around it. And in Vardhaman Mahivira this sculpture was often repeated. He was depicted in standing posture, completely nude body was surrounded by the trees, the veils of the trees. And in Amravati, folk narratives were depicted. The stories, it is believed to be the previous life stories of Buddha. In each of the story, there is a moral, ethical lessons were shown. So in Gandhar, Roman features were there. Large forehead, large earlobe, tall body, broad shoulder. Roman realism were there. Central Asian features were also in the Gandhar. Was that headgear ornaments were used. Beard and mustaches were well grown. Accompanied with some set of weapons were there. Images were depicted with robes and boots. And in Mathura, Lord Shiva was often depicted in the form of Mukhalinga and Shivalinga. Lord Vishnu was often depicted in a full-bodied form with this Angad, multiple arm with weapons like this shown in a figure. And some of the image of goddess Lakshmi and Mahishasur Mardini was also the sculpture part of the Mathura. And in Amravati, the most popular Jatak Katha depicted in Amravati was Queen Maya Devi Dream, Queen Maya Devi Dream, Chadant Jatak, Sivi Jatak, Mahakapi Jatak, Viru Pandita Jatak and Ruru Jatak were there. So this is all about the art and architecture of the modern empire. Thank you for listening. You're listening Ankit Parmar.